welcome back to the Boicast, hosted by Scottscy and Blairlex. Today, we talk about Resident Evil 2. Woo! How you doing,
Yeah.
bro? How
Hi.
you doing, bud?
Hi. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm doing pretty good. This episode was completely recorded in front of a live audience.
Oh, well, right.
Of, one
Look at them all.
person.
Hello,
Well,
everyone.
I mean, woo!
Yeah, how you doing? How
I
you doing
fucking
tonight?
love you!
Whoa.
Woo! Yeah!
I'll see you after the fucking session,
woo.
boy. Hello.
Yeah.
Right.
Woo! Show us your Resident Evil 2 remake!
Whoa. That's censored.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
shit.
not allowed to see any of that.
Oh, we're not allowed? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Good afternoon, Scottscy. It's very
Hello,
good to
love.
see you.
How are you doing?
Oh, dude, so let's talk about Resident Evil, shall we? Like,
Hell.
Resident Evil.
Yes. Oh, mate, I've been so excited since they announced it. I remember, because way before they announced it, I was playing through, like, the originals, Resident Evil 0 and 1 got remade on, like, PC and got re-released. I remember playing through them, and I'd already played through them years ago on GameCube when I was younger. I hadn't beat them or anything, but I played them before, so I knew what they were like, but I'd never known the story of Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3. They were the two I'd never played because they never got remade, other than for like some Wii games that are like, what are they, like the laser gun shooters and stuff like
Evil Revelation Killer Deathstalker Wii U edition.
They were the Resident Evil Chronicles games. They were like those ones that you have like the Wii Zapper.
Yeah.
And
Oh
the
yeah.
or they were in like arcades or on PlayStation 2 where you had the little like gun and shit. They were those type of games.
It's like
and they were
Time Crisis type deal.
Yeah,
Like.
pretty much. And they were the only ones that had Resident Evil 2 and 3 stories that weren't the originals. But we got 2!
Dude, I was so excited.
And when I saw it, I was ready to cream.
Well, you see, here's the thing with like here's the thing about the like when I because I never played Resident Evil 2 like ever because actually when I was younger, obviously I was a bit of a bitch, right? But the so I was pretty poor. I think I've told this story on the podcast before, right? When I was super younger, and we had these American cousins who used to come over and bring over games for my PS1 every now and then. So I had to wait like a year, but then my cousin would accidentally, because he wasn't supposed to like give them to me, but if he accidentally left them, like it was all okay, right? Like so he would bring over a bunch of games and be just like, here, hide them under your bed. And I'd be like, whoa, okay, are you sure? Resident Evil 1? What is this? And he's just like, don't play that one. And of course, that's the first one I played.
Oh, yeah,
and,
of course.
because he was a bit older than me as well. So, like, he had all the good shit.
He had all the games that you weren't allowed, that your parents were like, no, don't be playing them.
Yeah, like, he was super excited to show me them as well. Like, I remember there's this one PS1 game. I don't even know. I really want to go back and find it. Because it's a PS1 game where it's one of those like ones where it's like in the oh Jesus Christ, I keep saying like yeah, like in the Resident Evil 1 style where it's like overhead and you're looking down. It's a horror game.
Oh yeah.
I used to watch him playing that and I used to be, oh, I really love that, and you'd just be like, yeah, dude, try and play it yourself, and I was like, I can't. It's too scary. But I loved watching people play it.
Like with the tank controls and the static camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what there was on PlayStation 1 other than Silent Hill and
it
Resident Evil?
might have been Silent Hill 1.
Yeah. I don't know
because-
shit about Silent Hill 1. I'm not
do
familiar with it. I've never played through that one. Remake it.
Remake Silent Hill
Get
1
on
and then it can be a topic on the podcast.
God, imagine Silent Hill 1. I wish they actually remade Silent Hills, like, because they did the HD remaster and then ruined it all by adding new voice acting and everything. But anyway, we're not talking about Silent Hill.
We're not
Resident
allowed.
Evil
Get
time.
out of here.
'Cause,
remake your game and then we can talk about Silent Hill. Right, but anyway, go ahead.
Similar to you and like the PlayStation 1 stuff. Like, I remember one day my dad was playing Resident Evil, the first one. In my old house, we had a conservatory at the back, and we had like the PlayStation set up in there and stuff. And I remember just being a kid and wandering in to see what my dad was doing, see what he was playing, because the PlayStation 1 to me was for Rayman and stuff like that. So I knew it as like, oh, like, he's gonna be playing Rayman or like Spyro or something. I was like, oh, cool, I'll walk in. And the perfect timing, and it couldn't have been any better. But on Resident Evil 1, when you first encounter a zombie, it's this really close-up scene of it eating a person rising up slowly and then turning and facing the camera.
Yeah.
And I walked in, this little boy, little Scottscy walks in like, "Hey Dad, what are you playing?" First sight of a horror game right there was that. I book it out of the back of the conservatory, out of the back garden, and start just running. I just run. I'm like, nope, I'm out. And that was my first
never
introduction.
seen that old family since. Like,
yeah, that was my old family. I've got a new one now.
Dude, they're very nice.
That was my introduction to horror and Resident Evil. And to be fair, I couldn't have asked for a better introduction.
I think because you're still like you still get like relatively like super unsettled when you play horror games, right?
It depends, really. Because I went through the whole YouTuber phase in back like 2012, where every single game you play has to be a horror game, be it Slender, Amnesia, all that garbage. And around then, I was just immune to horror. I was just immune. Everything I played, like people would see me playing, they're like, "How do you keep so stone-faced?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then I went through the whole phase of playing like horror in VR, and that reset it. That made me terrified of it again. And then I played so much of it that I didn't care. And then I took a break from horror for about 2 years where I just didn't play anything until like Resident Evil 7 came out. And that's when I started getting scared of horror again. And then I got used to it from playing that. And then with with Resi 2, I have panicked so much in that game.
Oh, dude, that's the thing with Resident Evil 2, because like usually I'm not like I stream majority of the horror games that I play.
Yeah.
So usually I'm kind of on edge anyway, because I'm also talking to chat. And when you're kind of talking to chat and you're like not completely paying attention to the game, it kind of scares you even more.
Yeah.
Like because you're not like got full attention. But I'm usually, if I'm playing a horror game on my own, I'm very like I can just take it. When I was younger, I used to. Okay, so my dad used to play a lot of games. When he was younger, he used to play like Doom, the original Doom and stuff like that on the PlayStation 1. And I used to have my guns in the background, like but like not real guns, toy guns, just like pretending that I was in the environment. As you can see, I was always a very theatrical boy.
Level what? Like that was VR before VR was a thing, man. That was you right there living it,
dude. Exactly, I was living it there. But he would always play like super scary games, and I would have like child PTSD when I was playing it. You know what I mean? Because I got like even as a child, I like this is probably like the first stages of me realizing that I wanted to do voiceover and stuff like that, just acting in general. Like, I just got so into it. I became the nameless soldier that was like getting murdered. Like especially when I played like Call of Duty and things like that. Like I would set up the scene so like there was pillows and stuff like that, so I could like dive onto stuff. And he would just have his like, he wouldn't even be looking at me, but every now and then he would be just like grenade, like throw like something back at me, and I would hurt myself. But like that was
that's wholesome.
But I would be like pretty fun. But it's the same thing with like horror games. I used to I could play them with people and have people around, but when I was solo as a young guy, I couldn't like take it. But after a while, I started learning the tips and tricks. So like Amnesia didn't scare me whatsoever.
No.
It's just
Amnesia isn't that scary.
Well,
because once you encounter the monster, you know what to expect all the time. Then there's not like a lot of variation in the enemy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I know a part in Resi, you're gonna
I'm not even there yet. So just so people know, Scottscy is on Claire's route, and I'm only like halfway through Leon's. And I've never played Resident Evil 2 before, by the way. This is my first, like, oh, really? Oh!
That's what I was saying. I've just explained how I've never played through Resident Evil 2.
But you were talking about the, on stream, that, like, they changed the scene from Resident Evil 1. What is going on here?
I played through the game. I played through Resident Evil 2, the remake. I got about halfway through and then went and watched YouTube videos on the intro to see how different it was.
Okay.
I went back and compared it because I was really curious of how I want, like, the main reason I did it is because running through the intro scene, I wanted to see if it was the original, how many static screens I would have ran through.
Oh yeah.
Because it's the whole like third person camera now, it's not static screens, so I was just like, I wonder how many screens I just ran through, and it was like something like 6 or something, I can't remember. It's just like,
you know what I was kind of a little bit sad about? So here's the thing, it's a weird thing to bring up, but I play so many PS2 horror games just like on my stream in general.
Yeah,
I
'cause you're a fatal
miss
frame boy.
like yeah. I miss tank controls, dude.
Mm.
Like this game controls too good. Is that a weird?
Well,
Is that a
it's
weird
because you're playing
argument
with a
to
mouse
have?
and keyboard.
Yeah, that's true. That's
You
true. But
shouldn't play horror games with a mouse and keyboard. That's where I stand. I love mouse and keyboard to pieces. Love it, but horror games just don't work. Because what's scary about landing every headshot? If you know what I mean.
yeah, it's true.
I love
Well,
playing with a controller
actually-
because I panic and I'm like, just fucking hit him in the head.
Well, actually, here's the thing. Like with actual Resident Evil 2, right? It's like you were saying, like it's brought you back to just being scared of games as well. And I don't know what it is, but when you have a horror game where the antagonists are very human, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like Outlast fucked me up because they were just people. You know what I mean? Like you sit there
They're just
and
fucking nutcases, yeah. Okay.
well, that's like you just sit there and you're just like, oh fuck, this could actually happen in real life. This isn't funny. Like, same thing with Resident Evil. Like, obviously zombies aren't really a thing. Well, not yet. Well, we'll see what happens.
They are
you know?
real. Like it could happen.
Well, it could happen, but
Could very well happen. The fungus like
the fungus.
I can't remember what it's called. There's a type of fungus that takes over your brain.
I know there's like an ant, like there's an ant killer that like
Yeah,
eats
that's
ant
it. That's
brains.
the same type of fungus. It's a type of
Yeah.
plant that grows on like insects and then will grow into their brain and take over their brain to become like, what's the word? There's a type of
It's like hive mind, is it? Or
no, it's like
no, that's not.
they
that's
use
what
their
ants
body
are.
as just sort of like a vessel, if you know what I mean, to reproduce.
yeah.
And, it's terrifying. Like
like a
like that's what The Last
parasite?
of Us is based. Yeah, it is a parasite.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like that's what The Last of Us is based off of. You know the clickers.
Oh yeah.
That they've got that infection. That's why their head's so big and bulbous.
And they scream like, "Ah!"
Oh Jesus, yeah. Pretty much.
Hire me, Last of Us.
Yeah, hit him up. Naughty Dog, hit us up.
Like it's.
There you go.
I do
Fine.
have to say though, just with the whenever you have a horror protagonist or something like that that's just really human. That's why like when the dogs come after me. Whoops, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
fuck.
That was my phone. I apologize. I'll turn that on mute. But when the dogs come after me, I'm just like, yeah, like a dog could kill me.
Yeah.
You know, I sit there and I'm just like,
I
yeah.
think it doesn't even need to be a zombie dog. Just a normal dog. Never mind a zombie dog.
Dude, a normal dog could like 3 times kill me. That's the thing, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
they
what I
just have
mean.
to start biting my shins, and I'm
like,
just like,
if you-
what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna hit a dog. I refuse to hit it, even if it's killing me. Like, it's just, like, here's the thing. Like, if I was the movie protagonist and a dog was biting the shit out of me, who would they be voting for?
See, I feel awful now because I've had to kick a dog before.
Oh no!
And
Oh
it
no!
felt awful, but I had to because it was attacking my dog.
Oh,
And my
well,
dog
actually,
couldn't
like,
do anything about it.
no, 100%. If we're talking all seriousness, like that has happened quite a few times. Like specifically with dogs and things like that. Sometimes you've gotta like if another dog is attacking your dog, you have to protect your own dog. Like
Also, I
fuck
know,
that
like,
other dog at that point.
I
in time.
didn't fully like volley it like I was trying to break its head. It was more of like a shove to get it off, and then it ran off. So it was like, it was one
Yeah.
of those.
Like
But
sometimes
it still
that's
feels
all
awful.
it takes.
It's like, no, I don't want to do this. But my
Well,
dog
like-
was too much of a pussy to fight back. Which fair enough. He was a puppy-ish.
Yeah.
type of- He wasn't a puppy, but he was like a late teenager, so he was still a bit.
So he's going through his his bad
It's
phase,
like, oh,
you know.
I don't even want to fight. Oh,
Oh, I don't need to fight right now, Dad. Like that's
Flicks his fur.
You got flicks his like hair, flicks his coat. Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna let this dog kill me.
life is pain. Ugh.
Oh, life is pain, and I'm bleeding.
But like that's the thing though with dogs. It's like a normal dog could easily just rip us to shreds. Never mind a zombie dog, which it means it takes one bite and you're dead. With a zombie dog, and that could just be like too easy. Like
I see,
zombie
like,
dogs, terrifying.
It's weird to say because like down the road from me, they train like military dogs and cop dogs.
Oh yeah.
And I've just going down there every now and then. They like ask me to feed the dogs whenever they go on holiday and stuff, because they go on holiday like once every 10 years. Like, it's ridiculous. But at one point in time, they're just like, watch this. He puts a coat around his arm and like goes like, he like, they teach him in German for some reason. I don't know why they teach him in German, but he was just like come and get me or something in German.
It's because the German Shepherds, like, I think they respond better to it.
Maybe.
I think I've heard, I haven't heard much about it, but whenever I've seen dog training videos, they always do it in German, so it must be a reason. It might just be like universal commands for dogs are in German, I guess.
I guess so. It's kind of ironic, really, because he's a Russian man, like, training German dogs. Like, it's like he's like,
dog,
oh, come and get to me, dog. And then like the dog comes out and starts like ripping his arm apart. And he's just like, ha ha, this one is great success. And I'm just like, what the fuck? But like, if you don't give them the command, they're the fucking sweetest little boys. They're so sweet. You like give them belly rubs, they want it. They want the belly rub. And you're like, yeah, you fucking deserve this belly rub. And it's like they're so excited to get food. They're so excited everything, but like as soon as you're just like German word, they're like,
as soon as you're like German word.
Well, it basically is.
Did you live in Germany? Did you live in Germany for 3 years? Because that is some. Oh, your dialect and pronunciation was on point. I've got to admit.
Thank you. I am European.
I might not be. Who knows?
That's the thing. Listen, you boys over in the UK, you don't know what it's like to be European. That's all I'm saying.
We're still European.
We'll see about that.
We'll see
about that.
This stupid.
We'll see when we like launch the United Kingdom into space.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. That's the thing.
So,
all right. Yes.
Like, because the main thing with Resident Evil is the horror doesn't come solely from like the jump scares and like the whole atmosphere, because all that together is really scary. The main thing that scares me about Resident Evil is its survival horror aspects. It's like you get scared when you go into a new area and you've got 2 handgun ammo, a blue herb, and an empty shotgun, and you're like there's not much I can do here. I can shoot a zombie twice, and then what? Like,
that's the thing.
I'm gonna die, and you run through, and then all of a sudden a tyrant breaks down the wall, and you're like, "This is fine."
The tyrant's Thanos, right? Like that's the person that
he's
we call
Mr.
Thanos.
X.
So so Mr. X, I didn't realize who Mr. X was. So I've just been calling him Thanos through my playthrough, and everyone's been yelling at me in chat.
I know, I keep trying to tell you, but you didn't give a shit. You were just like, "Nope, it's Thanos."
You said Mr. X, and I saw it, and I was just like, "But he looks a bit like Thanos, though." Like that. Like, here's the thing: this motherfucker doesn't even need the 5 crystal gems to like destroy my skull.
He doesn't need the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, right. It's like Thanos. He's just gonna get me.
He's just gonna click, and your neck's gonna snap.
Oh, dude, like I'll snap it for him, dude. At that point in time.
But yeah, if you're listening to this, we're gonna drop minor spoilers. We're not gonna do any like end, because obviously Blair hasn't completed the game yet. I've completed the first scenario. I still don't know what's happened in the second half.
Yeah,
so we're gonna drop minor
1?
spoilers. Not in too major.
Act 1.
What?
Is it Act 1? Okay, so like let's keep it to everything in the like in the police station, right? And like a tiny bit after, but that's it. That?
Well,
or maybe a bit more. Like, you see, because I've only just left the police station.
It's really awkward. It's very Dark Soulsy. Whereas you'll go off on this huge path, and then to find out you're right back at the start of the game, and you're like, "How the fuck did I get here?" It's very much like that. So I don't want to.
Okay, everybody, if you want to play,
because...
Resident Evil, maybe skip a tiny bit ahead.
Well,
of
no,
the podcast.
we're not going to drop anything too major, because it's just like it's just I don't want to spoil anything. Full stop, because it's a fucking fantastic game.
It is. Like, here's the thing which I was kind of like super surprised about, because they've actually, that's the big thing that I need to bring up with the voice actors, right? Because I think they've kept like the main voice actors a bit, like, not to say duller.
I'm not 100% on the voice actors.
You're not 100%. Well, here's the thing, like,
Leon's isn't great, I've got to admit.
But I feel like that's the point.
It is,
right?
It's 100%, because it's meant to be cheesy 90s sort of style, isn't it?
But it's such a weird, like, difference when everybody else has such an amazing performance, and then Leon's just like,
He's so
They
bland.
got him. Well, you see, that's the thing. Like, I don't like. At least Leon in every single other game, he's always been.
Oh, he's always been stone cold, stupid
Yeah.
humor boy, Annie. But like, I understand that's his character, but it's just weird when it's contrasted with everyone else's performance.
I will
Like,
admit, there was a scene. Like you saw me play this scene, where they're in kind of like a gun shop, and
Yeah.
he's just kind of just like, Ada, let her go, and the guy's like doing this Oscar-worthy performance, like with his daughter.
My fucking daughter.
Yeah, that's my fucking daughter. He's like, Ada, we can't get involved with this.
I don't know, because there is one line from Leon there
Oh yeah.
that I really liked. See, this is kind of spoiler territory, but it's also not. But it
No,
is.
go ahead, fuck it. Go ahead.
It's just the line when he's like, when he's talking to Ada, and he's like, if you can't explain it to me, why can't you explain it to people like that? And it was just like, okay, that was a good line.
That did bring that up. Yeah.
The delivery on it was really spot on. But there's a few parts as well, like when you get the item in the clock tower, and he's just like, "Am I gonna have to write a report on this?"
Yeah.
Shut up.
I like there is quite a few lines like that,
Like,
where you're just kind of
Would
like,
you have said that in the situation? You're being chased by Thanos. There is about 6 zombies outside the door, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Am I gonna have to write a report on this?" I hope I don't.
it's just a bit strange when Resident Evil 5 had more more serious acting than Leon had. You know, it's just kind of like that's the thing. Like Chris Redfield fucking went in with his like performance, and it like that one could have been more actiony and just been like, oh yeah, I place a grenade down here. Is it hot in here? Mwah. You know what I mean? Like, but it wasn't. But that's the thing. Like, obviously the original games are very campy, right?
Oh, like you haven't seen? Have you seen the live action from the original Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation?
I haven't, but I've played the first,
all of the cutscenes.
I've played the first Resident Evil 1, the original, but I haven't played Resident Evil 2, the original.
Well, I'm on about Resident Evil 1,
Oh,
the
okay,
original one on PlayStation 1, where the intro cutscene was live action. Do you remember that? It was awful. Like half of the dialogue was cut off. Like the fucking Jill goes, "Chris," and then gets cut off. She doesn't even finish the word Chris. It's so bad, but it was PlayStation 1, so you love it. Whereas, like, it kind of works on Resi 2 Remake, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like, when you're just playing as Leon and you're walking down the corridor and you'll see a zombie and he goes like, "Whoa!" And it just feels so out of place. Like someone's just like, "Give me a break."
It's a weird thing to bring up because I actually love that type of acting in older games, and even if they bring it into newer games, I love it if like everybody's like that. But with this newer like generation of Resident Evil, it just feels so wrong and like a little bit like not a little bit tone deaf at times when you're seeing that Leon's just kind of like, "Yo, I'm here and I'm here to do a thing," because obviously he's on his own a majority of the time, so that's fine. But when he's with other people, like they didn't like stop Ada. Ada's got ridiculous actor. Like she does the fucking job.
Yeah,
like,
she was really good. I enjoyed her.
Like that's the thing. Like even like maybe Claire. Like I haven't played Claire's stories, so I can't really tell.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough Claire myself either. Like I've played about 10 minutes of her story so far, and when you do scenario 2, the cutscenes at the intro get cut down short.
Do they?
Because when you do scenario 2, it knows you've already beat scenario 1. So all the cutscenes you've already seen get cut down.
I'm glad about that. That's actually good.
So
that's actually good. I like that.
I need to just sort of like, because it was really weird, like, because you know, like the scene right at the beginning with the petrol station.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this like when you start Claire's campaign, it'll do the intro and then it'll cut to like behind Claire if you're about to play her. But when you do the second run, it'll cut to that and then fade to black and then fade to them in the car with Leon. And I was like,
okay,
I was
really
about
nice.
to play and then it cuts it away from me and I was like, this is weird.
But you see, that's nice though, right?
Yeah, it was because you've already done it all and there's nothing there's no collectibles, there's nothing more to get because you already know the story. But it just felt weird because it was awkwardly cut.
Yeah,
like
I do feel you on that.
The camera panned to behind Claire's if I was about to play, and then it immediately faded to black, and I was like, eh? And then it was the intro of like Leon going like, "Get down."
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then you
I
It
can.
was just really awkwardly edited, and it felt wrong. But at the same time, I like that they cut down the cutscenes. But
Yeah,
I did
that's the
sort of get
thing.
really confused
You
because I
like.
didn't know how it worked.
I would be like at least for me, like whenever I play when I'm playing a game, right? I find it very
Yeah,
hard to come back to it after like say like I haven't played it in a long time, right? Um
yeah,
so I have to do it directly after I've finished like the main campaign if there is another campaign to go through.
yeah.
Um so
Well,
so
well,
for
that's what I mean. With
me
this
that's
game, it's
great.
like with this game, it's kind of like with Leon's. Once you beat Leon's campaign, that's half of the game done.
Mm.
That's how it is, kind of.
Is it like
'Cause you do-
50-50? Like cuz
Well,
I've
no,
talked
it's
to people
because they both stories run parallel to each other.
Oh.
So it's you see what Leon's doing during this time, and then once you beat that, you then go and see what Claire's doing during this time, and then see how
Oh.
the stories overlap and what's happened. And like, if you're like Leon and you'll see something that's different from when you saw it earlier, it's because Claire's been there and done something and then took off. If you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Kind of, because it's really odd because like even I've started Claire's campaign and I've had to unlock doors that Leon's already been through.
Ah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of weird, but like, and there's a whole like loads of new weapons on Claire's campaign and all this. So
You know what would be really cool
it's different.
with those things if they show Claire like locking the door after she's gone through it. Say like if it's an area that you don't have to go back to. So that
Yeah,
like
I
when
guess.
you go back to when you think okay that's why that door is locked in Leon's campaign, right? Or that's why it's locked in things campaign.
Well, I think the main reason that like this is because it was like Resident Evil like 2 because it was the original. Like I feel like they wouldn't have gone through all the effort of making excuses to why these doors are locked and that. It's just like I think the game's excuse is it's Resident Evil. You've got to unlock
Yeah.
doors. That's just how the game works.
Yeah, I
Do
think
you know what I mean?
yeah, like when I really think about it, it's kind of yeah, at the end of the day as well, like does it really matter that much? You
No,
know,
I
like
didn't.
it's
I
like,
wasn't bothered. I was just sort of like, oh yeah, I've got to unlock this door. I've got to go find the key. Got to find the chain. What are they called? The wire clippers, whatever, to get through the chains, to get through doors and stuff.
the chain door and things like that. Oh, so Claire goes. Does Claire go to the police office?
Well, yeah, that was the point, wasn't it? Because right at the beginning when they split up, Leon's like,
Oh.
meet me at the police station. And she's like, I'll see you there. And then they run off.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I didn't actually.
Because remember,
know
you,
she
you
goes to
see
the
Claire,
station.
don't you, when they have that really sexual tension
Oh.
at the gate.
I will.
That's
will
where
admit,
Claire's campaign starts.
I will admit when that sexual tension scene, just in general with Claire and Leon, it honestly feels like it's not like about to get into a porno, but like it totally could have.
It
You know what
felt
I
like
mean?
yeah, it felt like it was about to like you're about to break down the gate and just start making out in
Yeah,
the
like-
rain, and there's fire and zombies everywhere.
Like, just-
you're like yes.
Actually, speaking of, like, one of the people in my chat were just like, dude, Leon looks like Leonardo DiCaprio from the Titanic. And I was like, I don't believe it. And then they showed me a picture side by side, and I was just like,
He does a bit, doesn't he?
holy fucking
They got the same
shit.
hair and everything.
Yeah, I was
So
like,
weird.
holy fucking
Yeah.
shit, dude.
I
What
see
is
it.
going on? And like, I was sitting there, I was just like, oh, it's just, don't leave me, Leon. I've got to go. I'm dying in the water. Leon!
See, speaking of all this, there is a scene later on which you haven't seen yet.
All right, okay.
I want you to see,
Uh-huh.
but I want to know if it's the same as the original, because
Okay.
my god, like it felt so awkwardly out of place, but also right at the same time, and I was like, this isn't. Surely this wasn't in the original, but I can't tell you because it'd be a spoiler.
Oh yeah, but by the way,
Oh.
just so everybody knows, just in case the actors of Leon and Claire are like listening, like by any
Doubt it.
chance, well, you never know. Like here's
Yeah,
the
true,
thing,
go on.
you never know. But we actually love your performance. Like we don't actually think you
Well,
did a bad job. It's just
Yeah, from
it's
what I
just
was
a
saying
bit
before,
weird.
I was like, it felt corny, but like that was the point, wasn't it? Like that's
yeah.
like
Wait.
the only reason I'm saying that was the writing. That wasn't so much as the performance, because the performance felt like they nailed it, because it was meant to feel 90s, because it was the remake. It's Resident Evil 2.
Well,
Of
that's
course
the
it's gonna be
thing.
corny.
Right, like when I was listening to the recording, and obviously this is a thing like very specific to me, because I've been in like professional voice acting studios just to learn how to voice act and stuff like that. Um, I know exactly what the voice acting director was saying to Leon, right?
Yeah.
Like, because like you can hear it a little bit in Leon's voice, that like, especially in like lines like the one in the gun shop, right? That he wants to give more of a performance, but they've just been like, tone it down. You know what I mean? Like
I guess, yeah, a little.
I can almost feel that was the situation right there, because I feel like I've heard Leon's voice before. It's definitely not the original voice actor, is it?
Oh no, it's nowhere
No,
near.
it's
No.
nowhere near the original voice actor. But
No.
I've heard him before, and I've heard him do a great job. I don't know what his
There's-
name is, but we'll figure it out later on. But
Oh, there's an exchange later on. I wish you'd beat Leon's campaign, because there's so much he's saying
I'm so
that just
sorry.
is
Oh.
like, it's kind of hard because later on the performances feel different.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like he was told to tone it down at the beginning to emphasize the late game,
Really? Okay.
because there's an exchange between Leon and Ada that is, huh.
Huh? What?
Well, there's two. There was
There's
the one I
two.
was talking about earlier that I didn't want to spoil, and there's this one that I also don't want to spoil.
Oh.
Beat the fucking scenario. Beat it.
We'll do it soon. Well, I'm gonna stream it tomorrow. But anyway, like
Oh, nice.
since we can't spoil it, and all that type of stuff, we'll continue on, right? So
Yeah.
the thing about, like, I've got to say about Resident Evil like 2 right now, which I've got to say, I'm very upset that there isn't tank controls. I'm like, it's weird to say because I love tank controls, and I've had this conversation with so many people, and people have told me you're a fucking idiot. Tank controls are the worst, and obviously, well, you see, the thing is, it's not a nostalgia thing for me, right? Because a lot of people have gone like, oh, it's a nostalgia thing. It's because you like playing. It's because you like remember these old games as being good. No, I've played
No.
these old games very recently, and the tank controls make them
Make it terrifying.
terrifying.
I completely agree. It's the same reason I use a controller,
yeah,
because it makes it that much harder to do stuff. Like with a mouse and keyboard, you can just keep aiming perfectly, land those headshots, and maneuver around, shoot them dead easily. With a controller, it's like, yeah, you can, but at the same time, it's a bit more awkward because you've got to like be able to aim better, and then like trying to
Yeah.
quick turn and trying to pull your gun up and aim precisely. With a mouse, you can just sort of flick shot, get a headshot. You can't exactly do that on a controller, and that's why I play controller, because it's just like, it makes it more scary because you're just like, just fucking run, fucking aim, fuck, what am I doing?
just fucking go shoot him. Like,
Because I remember on Resident Evil 7, I was having issues with a boss, like on my second playthrough on hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
I was having issues with a boss trying to play it with a controller, and I just couldn't land my shots, and I was just getting battered every time, and I was like, I've already beat the game. I'm just gonna do this boss on PC.
Yeah.
I immediately pick up my mouse, fucking first try, land every shot, kill him, and I'm just like, oh, I felt wrong.
you're ridiculously good at like PC FPS games though. Like it's kind of crazy.
I'm a sniper, it's what I do.
Oh, that's the thing. That's what I like to bring up a lot. If anybody's ever watched Scottscy's stream, you will understand that he's actually kind of annoying when he plays fucking games like this, because like you sit there and you're just like, oh, I got 2 kills and Scottscy's got 9. You know what I mean? It's kind of that situation. So
It's like when we've played PUBG with people in the past.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I've got a clip of playing it with Prisma. Was it Prisma? Is his name Kanye on X?
yeah, that's Prisma.
Yeah, that was Prisma.
Yeah.
I can never remember because his name's fucking Kanye on Steam and shit.
Prisma's
But,
a great guy. Fucking shout out
Yeah,
to Prisma.
I was playing PUBG with Prisma and Alex, Shotty Froggy.
Yeah.
We were playing a bit, and those kept getting battered. And meanwhile, I'm there, surrounded by a car driving past and another squad shooting at me with snipers. I mow down 2 people in the car, and then quick scope another guy miles away, and then revive them both and keep running. I'm like, boys, pick up your weight. Come on.
Are you hearing this fucking shit? Like this fucking
I've got a
MLG
clip
Pro
of it and
Call of
everything.
Duty player is just like is talking shits down to us normal people. But like that's the thing though, when you ever bring that up when you're talking about like games like this. Now, like as I've heard that that you're actually using a controller for Resident Evil 2, I'm kind of like taking a little bit of back right now, because I was like, whoa, that's actually you're handicapping yourself at this point in time, and that's actually
Because it's a
awesome.
horror game.
That's,
I want to be
that's
more
true, yeah.
scared.
I
When I
suppose
play a horror game and do something that makes it less scary.
I'm not gonna lie,
you know what I
I'm
mean.
still pretty scared.
I'm not, because I was to begin with, but because I've completed the scenario 1 now, I've sort of gotten used to the whole. Because like when I played the demo, like they released a demo like last week
I
or something.
didn't play the demo at all. Like,
well, all the demo was when you first get in the police station and meet Martin, and then like you crawl under the door, and then you go through. Like it was just like that little bit. It was dead small. It was like barely 3 minutes worth of gameplay if you like just rushed and did all the objectives.
Yeah.
But I remember when you first crawl in, and then it's pitch black in that hallway, and there's all like everything's soaking wet, and it's all like crackling with like sparks, and that when I first did it on the demo, I was so nervous and just sort of like, oh, I don't like this. It just like the graphics of like the new Resident Evil games, like 7 included, makes everything look disgusting, and I love it.
Oh, that's a big thing that I have to bring up as well, because like I've got to say, you know when something looks squishy?
Yeah.
Like I have to like, I don't know what it is, but like when something looks squishy in game, like it actually makes me feel a bit fucking wrong. You know what I mean? Because you're just like, you look at the texture in the game and you're just like, if I touch that, I'm not gonna have a great time. And in Resident Evil, it's 24/7. I don't want to touch any fucking floor or anything.
They nail it in 7 and in the remake. In 7, it's so much worse because it's first person. Your character's eyes are right up against all this squishy grossness, and all of the monsters in Resident Evil 7 are just molded, creepy, squishy monsters, and I'm like...
Remember the dinner scene in Resident Evil 7?
Oh yeah, when there's all
when they're all like sitting around. I love that scene, by the way. That's one of my favorite scenes. The thing where they're just like, "Ma, get me more fucking gunk." Yeah, the lovely family dinner, and you're like strapped down. You're just like, whoa.
And you can just see like your really sweaty arm that's just been reattached by staples, and you're just like,
oh god, I forgot you staple your arm back, don't you? Oh,
I'm just so happy Capcom fucking just pulled their fist out of their arse and made good games.
Capcom are really doing it this year. By the way,
we've had fucking Resident Evil 7, which was fantastic, return to survival horror, and now we've had the Resident Evil Remake 2, and then we're getting fucking Devil May Cry 5.
We're getting Devil May Cry 5, I'm so excited for Devil May Cry 5!
So much shit, man. It's like, Capcom, please, there's only so much I can take.
It's... Like Capcom have definitely been really doing it for this year. Like I actually like I'm a bit straight because I love fighting games. I'm a really big fighting game fan. I think they did like. Well, I understand why people didn't like the newest Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah,
I still really enjoyed it.
I'm not. I'm a fighting game boy. I've never played Marvel vs. Capcom. I've got a friend who loved it. Yeah, because it's very similar to Dragon Ball FighterZ, isn't it?
In a way,
where it's so like 3v3 fights and you can swap them out.
Yeah. No, it's definitely more like that. Marvel vs. Capcom, the newest Marvel vs. Capcom, I forgot what one it was called. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was my thing.
Was Ultimate one it?
Is it Ultimate?
The latest one.
Is it?
I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate or something.
Oh, everybody's like putting their name as Ultimate. Jesus Christ, but.
Because it's the Ultimate Edition.
It's the Ultimate Edition.
Games won't get better than this. You give it like 3 years and everything's going to be different.
Welcome back to Ultimate. 12 years down the line. But like, this thing's like, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was my Marvel vs. Capcom. But I really enjoyed
I've heard that was the best one. I've heard that was the best one, even though there was one character that was stupidly OP, but...
It might have been like, yeah, Dr. Doom was pretty strong. Like, we see his thing, I had a team where I had Dr. Doom, I had Phoenix Wright, and I was just objecting everybody, and I think I had Mega Man. I only played with Phoenix Wright until like he died, obviously. But like Phoenix Wright, literally you just go objection, and you just like start pushing people into a combo. But in the newest Marvel vs. Capcom, Phoenix Wright I don't think wasn't in it, or at least if he was, I would have been playing him 24/7. But like it was like
all I'd play on that is like Resident Evil and Devil May Cry characters because they're the only Capcom games I really like. I've really taken a liking to.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Like I'm not too sure. Like what do Capcom make again? It's been
Capcom makes a lot of games actually, and to bring up that like
Monster Hunter. Holy shit.
They make Street
There's
Fighter.
another thing. Like Capcom have you played Monster Hunter World?
I
It
have
is a
not.
masterpiece.
I've never played Monster Hunter World. Never.
It is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop playing it because I was scared of getting addicted to it.
Wait, see, I saw you got. I saw you and all the boys playing like Marvel's Cat. Sorry, not Marvel's Cat. Fucking Monster Hunter. Sorry. And I
Yeah.
really wanted to like play Monster Hunter, but due to the fact that like I have like I hate to say this because like I do have a very busy schedule, so I have to wean myself off addicting games. That's why I had to cancel my World of Warcraft subscription and stop all that stuff. Monster Hunter World is my fucking game. Like,
Yeah.
I want to play it so bad, but I know I'll get addicted, so I'm not allowed. That's just how it is.
Like that
I'm
was
not allowed.
mine. It was one of those like, it was around the time I'd started streaming again,
Mhm.
and then started playing Monster Hunter, and then I just did nothing but Monster Hunter for about 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then it got to a point where I was like, I need to get stuff done. I need to quit Monster Hunter because I was too addicted, and I'm kind of scared of going back because they keep adding all these updates and there's loads of new monsters being added. I'm just like, I want to go back and play it,
Dude, you have to.
but I'm gonna be addicted. I'm gonna at some point, but I'm just giving it some time so that there's loads of content I can jump back in and just have loads more to do.
Dude, it's so annoying being like an adult. Like as much as it comes to like I pull myself off. I pull it off relatively well as being a child adult, a man child, if you will. And that I like to do all the childish things and do all my childish stuff like that. But like off the stream, I've just got so much work to do because I'm trying to become successful, and it's just like and then I sit there, I'm just like I just want to fucking play games. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm like. It's because you always give me shit for like start doing your YouTube stuff, start doing this. And I'm always like, I will eventually. But like, I do 4 days a week in work, which takes 4 days out of my week. And then when I'm at home, I just want to chill and play games. And then I've got to spend time with my girlfriend. So when it comes down to it, I've got about like, for 2 days a week to try and get videos done when I want to just chill and play video games. And I'm like, it's so conflicting.
It's the thing is though with you, like, I can completely understand because at the end of the day, you have a job. You know what I mean? You're doing your thing, right? I have four part-time jobs, right? 4 part-time jobs, which I sit there and I can see what I do because I'm my own boss. And when you're your own boss, you can never tell if you're doing a good job. So you always go like, I can do more. You know what I mean? Like everybody who has a boss is just like everybody who is a boss of like people and them are just like productivity. How can I make it more productive? But when you're your own boss, you're just like, I'm gonna work you to the fucking bone, you little shit. And then like you're just like, oh fuck, I'm talking to myself. That's the thing, like with that, like which I can completely understand about you when you have your own job, because you just like you get the not exactly the satisfaction, but it's now that you've done your fucking job. You know what I mean? You've done your job and you don't want to do anymore. If you want to relax, you fucking relax. You know what I mean? And that's very enviable. That's super fucking enviable. But dude, eventually.
But see, at the end of the day, you're doing a job that you want a career in. I'm not.
Oh yeah. Like that's
the difference. So I want to do stuff productive to try and pursue a career that I want. But at the end of the day, I'm too tired to do any of that because I'm working a job I don't want.
Which is why the way Scottscy is going to quit his job tonight. Everybody knows he's going to go full-time YouTube and Twitch. You've heard it here first, folks. My name is Blairlex. I never lie.
I would if we had sponsors and a Patreon, but we don't.
We'll get those eventually. We know.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I'm glad we got the podcast, because at least once a week I'm doing something productive that isn't my shit job.
You're doing like
it's a
as
start.
much as it comes to it, like I'm listen, you're doing a lot of things productive. Don't put yourself down. 100%. Like
I just mean productive in a sense of not related to my job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, of course.
Like I just mean like personal productivity, not just financial productivity.
You're doing great, dude. You're doing 100% great. Don't worry. You're doing fine. Mwah.
Thanks, man.
Dude, 100%. You are. You're doing a fucking great job. And that's the thing. That's what I've got to say. Like I do. As a person, as myself, like I work bars on the weekend whenever I'm like super stuck for money and stuff like that. And I used to have I used to have I think I talked about this before on the podcast as well. I'm not too sure, but I used to have an internship where I used to help a
Oh,
psychologist do their work, like a therapist do their
right.
work and
Yeah,
things
you
like that.
mentioned this on a stream
I did,
yesterday. I think
yeah.
you did.
I was
Yeah.
I was like an assistant psychologist, so I would be in the room with the psychologist, and I would take notes and help out, give like little bits and pieces when somebody was like feeling down. I got paid for that, and that was too much for me. But also, as much as it comes to when you're working like a 9 to 5 or like a 10-hour job or anything like that, like it's just exhausting.
Yeah.
Like I can completely understand why you wouldn't want to do like any like creative work after that. That's why I left my job.
Yeah. Well, like I'd love to leave mine, but I can't afford it right
Yeah,
now.
no.
And I've got university payments to pay off, and
No.
like
No, but here's the
once
thing,
I've
Scott.
sorted out some of that,
This
I'm gonna focus on doing some other stuff.
exactly. This is the thing. Like this is for everybody in like the thing right now, right? Like you have to work hard to follow your passions, right? You have to work super duper
Oh
hard.
yeah.
Now here's the thing. You're still
And
doing
don't
bits and
think-
pieces, you know?
Well, it's like one of the figures is like, don't think you have to do it right away.
Yeah.
You've got time.
And
That's why I'm not like worried about like, oh, I'm not doing what I want. I'm 22. I've got years to be doing what I want to do. If you look
Exactly.
at anybody in like the film industry or something, none of them are 22.
yeah, like none of them are fucking 22. Like you have like the certain offcasts of people who are like, oh, you know, they're like 22 and they're in these like amazing and they're so famous, shit like that. They want to do what we're fucking doing. You know what I mean? Like they
want to
like,
chill. They want to just
wanna
sit around
fucking
and play
chill,
video
right?
games.
Exactly. Everybody's got plenty of time to do what they want to do. Like 100%.
Don't rush into it. Take your time. Slow ride.
Exactly.
Take it easy.
This is the feel good podcast today. It's the feel good podcast today.
You know what we've been doing bad though?
What?
Staying on topic of Resident
Resident Evil! Jesus, we have. I'm not gonna lie, we haven't been feeling.
We've talked a fuck ton about Resident Evil,
have,
but I've
actually.
got another point I want to bring
Okay,
up.
bring up the
Because
point.
they've said, Capcom,
Yeah.
talking about how great they are, because they've been nailing it recently. They've brought up another thing of, like, if enough people show their interest in the Resident Evil 2 remake, they might show a little bit more of what they've been working on in the remake department of another Resident Evil game I haven't played before, which is Resident Evil 3.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I
want
don't
it.
want them to get too crazy with the remake department. I want them to make Resident Evil 8.
Well, like
I do. I want them to
they're
make
obviously
Resident Evil 8. Yeah.
Resident Evil 3 won't be the next one.
I've
100%.
never seen Resident Evil 3 either. I've never played it.
Neither
I've
have I,
never
but
actually
I know loads about it.
Really, I've
because
never
it's got the
actually heard
Nemesis
it
in it.
fucking exists. By the way, I've
It's got
never
the
seen
Nemesis.
it. Was it actually called Resident Evil 3 or was it called like Resident
It
Evil?
was called Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Really, I've never fucking like. Here's the thing. I've played Resident Evil 1. I've played Resident Evil 4. I've played Resident Evil 5 and 6 and 7. But I've never
Yeah.
heard anything about Resident Evil 5.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I played Resident Evil 1 and 0. I played 4, 5, 6, and 7. I played Code Veronica on PlayStation 2. I played Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles on Wii. I played so much Resident Evil, but I'd never played 2 or 3 because they were only on PlayStation 1. And we didn't have a PlayStation 1 for years, if you know what I mean. And it wasn't easy to just, back in the day, it wasn't a case of going on the internet and just ordering yourself a copy of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 to play on your PlayStation. Like, it wasn't that easy. Whereas now I could easily just, fucking pick up a copy of Resident Evil 3 and stick it in my old PS3 that I've got here and just be playing.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I'd rather wait for a remake, because the fact that this Resident Evil 2 remake was as good as it is, gives me, like, it makes me not want to go back and play the old ones and just wait for a remake, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, I'd rather have something that is, like, gorgeous and, like, genuinely scary, because old horror now, like, back in the day, that was the best it could get. If you know what I mean, that was the best it could look, that was the best you could find. Whereas now, we've got so much more that's scarier that if we do go back, it's funny. It's more of a gimmick. It's not horror to us anymore.
Well, you see,
It was horror back then, but now I kind of want stuff that is more modernized and sort of
understand that,
really good to look at, because I'm not scared of a few pixels on a screen. If you know what I mean.
God, when I think about when you
I
say
want millions of pixels on a screen.
when you say that to me, it makes me feel like such a bitch because I'm playing Fatal Frame 2 right now on stream, and it's just
But Fatal
it
Frame 2
upset,
isn't PlayStation 1.
I suppose, but
It's
it's
still got a lot of charm and enough detail for me.
okay.
It's not like I don't know how to explain it. It's like with Fatal Frame 2 that's a generation ahead of PlayStation 1. So it's got more detail, it's got more like what's the word? Like more design, I guess.
But more pixels, I guess is the right way
More
to say it,
pixels,
right?
yeah. Well, it's like with Fatal Frame as well, we haven't had a remake, we haven't had a new Fatal Frame like this modern, if you know what I mean. So we've got nothing to compare it to. With Resident Evil, now we do.
Yeah, true.
So it's kind of hard to go back when we've got this fucking gorgeous, terrifying Resident Evil 2 in front of me.
I've got to say,
why would I go back?
You don't realize
just
how
wait.
good a story Resident Evil 2 until it was remade. Well, I didn't know the original story, but I assume that it's the same.
Apparently Resident Evil 2 back in the day was the best one.
Really?
Out of all of them, apparently. That's what I've been reading up on, because I've been looking at all the sort of original story and looking at how people remembered it back then. Everyone was like, yeah, Resident Evil 2 was a lot of people's favorite version of Resident Evil.
Really?
But
yeah.
I'm not too sure. I guess this story seems a lot. Well, it's because there was so many more areas on Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Whereas on Resident Evil 1, it was just a case of the mansion.
Well, it was kind of running around in a circle, wasn't it, really? Once you knew everywhere to go, you just went there and you did it, and you're done.
Well, it's because, Resident Evil 1 was a case of you're in the mansion for, the majority of the game, and then at the end, you're in the underground, you're in the lab for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one, it's been... You sort of go all over the place. You go through, all of, the streets that are on fire, and the zombies everywhere, and then you go into the police station that's massive, and then you go into the underground basement where there's, the roads, and I don't know.
I have to admit, I did actually think Leon's story. When I first played it, I thought Leon's story was actually going to end in the police station, and then when they were just Ada was just like, "Come with me, Leon," and I was just like, "Oh, of course, my love." And I was just like, I thought it was just going to be just like, Here's the virus inside the police station. It's under the police station this whole time. I was like,
I was gonna say, have you never played a Resident Evil before?
Well, I've played
every Resident Evil ends.
Yeah, I don't know.
In a laboratory, doesn't it?
Well, it does, right?
Except five ends on a fucking volcano.
Oh yeah, five ends with you punching fucking boulders and shit like that. What the fuck was that shit, by the way?
That was great. That's what it was.
It was so fucking good. What did Resident Evil 6 end with? I actually can't remember.
I don't know. I never beat it.
Really?
I traded it in.
You trade? Oh.
I hated it.
That was when you could trade in games at GameStop, dude. Or at least,
yeah.
Well, that was before you realized it was a scam to trade in games, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. But I just didn't want it anymore. I was like, I don't want this game. Just give me my money back.
Really, I actually love Resident Evil 6.
Oh, that's the thing. I've heard loads of people say they hate it for the story because it's shit. But the gameplay played co-op is fantastic. Which I didn't do. I was playing it solo.
Oh, you can't play it solo.
That's what I mean. I missed out. I've been really considering picking it back up. I've wanted to do full streams of Resident Evil 5 and I wanted to do 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Again, over time, I'm I might do a solo run of 4, then find someone to do 5 and 6
I will
with.
do 5 of you.
Hell yeah,
dude. We've done it. It's a date. No. Because, here's the thing with, 6, I don't remember fucking anything about it. But all I knew, it was, a ridiculous, adrenaline mess of just...
It was just pure action.
Yeah, and...
That's what I didn't like about it.
Because, Resident Evil 5 was the first Resident Evil game I've ever played. So Resident Evil 5. Sorry, somebody just sent me a message on Discord. Then I was like, oh fuck. They sent me a message. They said, fuck, sorry. Resident Evil 5 was the first ever Resident Evil game that I ever played. Sorry, that my brain completely cut out there. Resident Evil 5 was the first Resident Evil game that I ever played in my entire life. While Resident Evil 1 was the first ever Resident Evil game that I ever saw. I just had my toy guns in the back and I was like pew pew and stuff, you know, like I wasn't actually playing it right now. I was just pretending to shoot zombies. So I only really
so the world of Resident
played that.
Evil you were introduced to was sort of more action based.
Yeah.
Because that's what 5 was. 5 wasn't so much horror. It was still scary, like compared to 6. 6 wasn't scary in my opinion because it was too much action but like 5 was that sort of, it was about 50-50. No, it was I'd say more 70-30. Like 30% was more horror and then the 70 was the action.
Yeah.
Because like it was more about you'd stagger a zombie, you'd run up and just fucking boot it. And then you just start throwing grenades and pull out your infinite rocket launcher.
Well, that's the thing which I was so taken aback at, because I was like shooting people in the head, and I was just like, I'm gonna stomp this boy, and then I couldn't stomp him, and I was just like, oh no!
I remember telling you on stream.
Yeah.
Because you were on Resi 2, like it was a part on Blair's stream where it was like he knocked one to the floor. He's like, I'm gonna go stomp him, and I was message like, can't stomp. This one's a survival horror.
I was like, no! What the fuck?
I was like the game would be too easy. He could stomp, and you're like, shit, you're right. Because it would. Imagine if you had the same stuff as like Resident Evil 4 and 5, where you could roundhouse kick them and stomp their heads when they were on the floor.
Yeah.
Because the whole like hard part about Resident Evil 2 is trying to get a zombie's head to burst.
Yeah.
Because once it's burst, you know it's dead.
Yeah.
It's not coming back. Because, my God, like, the amount of times I've hit them with the one bullet and the head immediately pops and I scream out in happiness. Like, I'd be sat at my desk and I just, yes! Go!
Well, that's the thing with, like, whenever when I first did it, I shot someone down, they, like, went straight down. I was like, this is great. And then I started getting back the fuck up. I was like, oh, no. Like, you can literally use your entire clip, or, like, your entire ammo supply on one person. In Resident Evil 2.
I can't remember what. Like, I remember seeing you had like 90 pistol bullets in the sewer, and I was like, how the fuck has he done this?
And I used them all on the same fucking person.
One of the fucking monsters came out, and you shot about 50 bullets in. And I was like, you've just shot more bullets than I've shot through this entire game.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Into one enemy. I was like, what are you doing?
I sat there to myself and was just like, I've got plenty of ammo. And then I looked at my ammo, and I used it all. I used every single
you'll
fucking
think to yourself
bullet.
like, oh, I've got 50 bullets. This is great. You'll fight 3 zombies and then be like, oh my God, I've got 5 bullets left.
No, you see the thing.
What just happened?
I actually had 100 bullets, so I just like popped in, and I used 50 bullets on the same fucking character.
Like the thing I discovered throughout the game is a sort of like, if you plan on playing the game, don't listen. Because the best thing I thought of is the pistol is a stagger machine.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You don't kill anything with the pistol unless it's like a lucky one-shot headshot. You use it, you hit them twice, and then they'll stagger, and then you run past. The only weapons you use to kill are the Magnum or the shotgun, or some other ones you unlock later on, which I'm not going to talk about.
Which is why I don't have any. I have the flamethrower now, but I have no ammo for the other 2 weapons, by the way.
Flamethrower's wank, though.
Is it wank?
I was so upset. Like, I was expecting, like, something so much more.
I feel like it's used for, like, a specific boss, but that's it.
It is,
really?
Which you'll see. But it's not a boss. It's just a specific type of enemy.
Oh.
Which you'll see soon, but...
Is it the big globby boys that, like, kind of, like, feel like a plant?
Yeah, but no. They work quite well for them, but not great, because you will end up just using all of your fuel just to kill, like, 2 of them.
Do you have, like... Do you get more ammo for the flamethrower?
Eventually. I don't know why they give you the flamethrower then, because they spawn no ammo in that area.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, that's why I've literally put the flamethrower in the care package thingy.
Yeah, you did the exact same thing as me. I took it and just immediately put it in the box. I'm like, you're being saved for a rainy day, you.
Yeah, I was literally just like, you know what? There you go. I'm never gonna look at you ever again. Like, I've been told that I'm carrying too many weapons on me as well. I've heard.
You're carrying too much healing items.
Am I?
I remember you had 3 full heals, like RGB. Yeah, RGB. Oh my God, RGB herbs. Like, you had 3 full heals on you,
dude,
and a first aid spray. And I was like, mate, carry 1 or 2 at the most.
Dude, but Thanos is after me at that point in time. Like, Thanos is literally gonna kick the fuck out of me. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but you can take like 3 hits from Thanos before you need to heal.
Oh, can you?
Only heal when you're on when you're on red.
Well,
only heal when you're on red.
This is news to me, by the way. I didn't know you could take 3 hits from Thanos. I thought he instantly killed you.
No.
This is why I was
You
always
can
taking so many health packs.
You can take a good few hits from Thanos. He's not.
Like, if he can,
It
break
depends.
down walls and shit and, like, a Game of Thrones you, I'd have thought he would pick you up and be just like, die!
See, there's an enemy later on that one hits you that you don't expect. I'm not going to explain.
Okay,
who
yeah,
it
don't
is,
tell me that.
I don't know why it all you get picked up by Thanos and he launches you across the room. He punches you and Leon just gets back up like, yeah, it's cool, let's go.
Yeah.
But this
Let's
one other
go.
enemy you find later on, if it grabs you on full health, you're dead. And I'm like, what?
Oh, no.
It was irritating.
Well, actually,
But
that's
to be
the
fair,
thing that
Resident Evil has always had those type of enemies.
Has it?
Yeah, like in Resident Evil 4, you had the chainsaw guys, whereas if they hit you once, it'd start sawing your head off and your head would come off.
I actually
And,
yeah.
Stuff like that.
But
They've always had those types.
But you know when
So-
when an enemy feels like it would instantly kill you?
Yeah,
Like the chainsaw boys in Resident Evil 4, they totally could.
because they're very rare.
Yeah.
You'd see one and be like, "Oh no, this is something right now.
This
is important."
fucker, don't let him near me. That's how you feel when like you see the Resident Evil like chainsaw boys. I said there was one in Resident Evil 5, wasn't there? Actually maybe it's just a boss.
There was, but because there's 2 of you, you get knocked, don't you? You don't insta die.
Oh yeah.
I think-
True. Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, you can insta die, kind of, because you get hit, and then you go into that like black and white phase, don't you, where you walk in and you're like, Chris,
Chris!
and then if you get hit again, you're dead.
Oh, who's the other lady in Resident Evil 5? It's like
Sheva.
Sheva. Yeah.
Chris and Sheva.
I've never met anyone called
Yeah.
Sheva before in my life. It's actually kind of crazy.
Well, it's because is she African? I think she's African.
Is Sheva an African name?
Well, Sheva's not exactly the most American or English name, is it?
Well, I don't know. Like that's the thing.
mean, 'cause she
that's
is-
why it took me back when I was doing it. I was just like, Sheva.
She's a dark skin tone, isn't she? She's
Yeah.
not white, so makes
Yeah,
sense.
true.
Chris,
Sheva,
Sheva, I'm coming.
help!
Come on, come on.
Help!
I loved spamming that button. You know when you stood at your door and you're waiting for player 2 to come
Oh,
click
yeah.
the door as
Come
well to
on!
progress, and you just keep
Come
spamming.
on!
Come on,
Come on!
Sheva.
Oh,
Come
it's
on.
literally just like the same thing in Payday 2 when you're like trying to get somebody up and you have the medic perk. It's like, get the fuck up! Come on, get the fuck up! You know, have you ever played Payday 2?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
played it in VR as well.
Really?
That's something we should play.
We should totally play. I don't have it on VR though.
I've just ripped my earphones out.
No!
Oh,
No,
really
put them
hurt.
back in! No! Help, medic!
Really hurt.
Medic! Medic!
Oh, that was. Oh.
Hey, Scott.
Ah.
Scott, you okay?
I'm good.
Dude, get the
My
fuck
eardrums-
back up!
My eardrums on. Oh my days! I need a minute to heal after. Wow, I can hear the world in HD now though. That's
Oh,
pulled
Jesus.
something out. I think I've just suctioned wax out of my ear
Ugh.
because the world is loud again. I don't like this. Oh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Like, you know, I've got those, like, the type of earphones I hate are the ones with the rubber ends. You know, the ones that go inside your ear.
yeah.
And I've just pulled both of them out at the same time, like, ripped out of my head.
Oh, those.
So I've just plunged both ears at the same time.
Oh, dude. It's
I'm
the
living
worst
on a
case.
different plane of existence right now.
Dude, it's the worst case
Oh.
when you have those plunger earphones in your ear and you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed. And then you wake up in the morning and then they're so far in your ear that you're just like, ah, fuck. Have you ever had that
What
before?
were we talking about? What just...
I don't actually know what we were talking about, to be honest.
We were
with
talking
you.
about Resident Evil 5.
We've
and-
talked about.
Oh no, we were talking about playing Payday.
We
We should
were
do that. We should get some boys together and play some VR Payday. That'd be...
We should totally. Wait, do
'cause-
I get VR Payday for like just having
Yeah,
read
yeah.
it? Good.
If you just own the game, it's VR's free.
Then that's good.
It's a
Then
free
we
update.
should definitely play VR.
Well,
Payday.
because like apparently Payday 2 is a lot of people's favorite VR game. Like apparently it just works.
Maybe.
Like I remember Nerd Cubed.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that it's his favorite VR game
I
because
feel like it really works.
because it's one of those VR games that isn't a tech demo.
Mm.
It's a fully fledged game that now has VR.
You see,
You know what I
biggest issue that I have with it is it's like it's it's not running around with your controller. You like point and then you jump to that position, which
It's not.
no, really?
No, that's an option.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like loads of games have that. That's just comfort options. You can change it in the options, yeah.
Well, then fucking punch me in the
Yeah,
face
fuck
and
that.
call me
That
very
sucks.
excited.
That's just one of those, like, they think, like, a lot of VR companies think that the teleport, like, stops you being motion sick, but no, because then you won't adapt. You need to just go in, start running forward while standing still in real life and just adapt. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy VR.
Like I've got to say, like now that you've brought that up, I'm super excited. Like, well, you see, here's the thing: the one about the teleporty thing that works really, really well is in what was that game that I played on my 24-hour stream? Business budget cuts.
Oh, budget cuts.
Yes.
It works really
It's-
well in budget cuts.
In budget cuts, they actually like they made it so perfect
Well, that's what I mean. They built it
around
specifically
that,
for the game, like for stealth, and it makes sense. And it plays so well. Except when I played it, I played the demo because I was planning on picking up the full game eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But I played the demo, and the demo was designed for Vive.
Mm-hmm.
So when you played it in the Oculus, the throwing mechanics didn't work
Mm-hmm.
correctly. Like occasionally the knife would throw properly, but every other time it just sort of drop in front of you.
Oh yeah.
So I've got so many clips of me on Twitch just grabbing a knife, trying to throw it, and then like a robot turning around and me just screaming and running.
Oh.
Like so many clips because it just wouldn't work. It was dead funny, but they fixed it, and I need to pick it up and give it a go because oh my god, that game was so fun.
It is really good. I need to finish it, but when I was playing it on the 24-hour, just I don't know why when you kill a robot with like a knife and stuff like that, when you're right behind them, you like put it in the back of their head. It feels really good. Like I just, it's weird to have like that murderous rampage about that.
You haven't played Blade and Sorcery, have you?
No, but it looks so good. I might buy it actually.
If you want murderous rampage, play it. I've played it, and my god, you feel like a maniac. Not yet. I don't think it's gonna get it, but it feels like it'd fit perfectly.
Dude, I just want to have like a
yet.
Mountain Blade-esque like combat game where you like have a shield in one hand and a sword in another, and your mate has a sword and shield, and you're just fighting each other. I really want that for VR, like so goddamn bad.
There's a few that apparently are good. There's one called Deus Vault, which is VR sword fighting, like multiplayer PvP.
Okay.
But I haven't tried it. I might have to give it a go and see if it's worth
it free.
But no, unfortunately, I think it's like dirt cheap though. I think it's like £5 or something. I can't remember.
That's a game night. That is, that's the game night.
Deus Vault. Oh yeah, it's £4.
That's not bad actually.
Online VR sword fighting.
That's a bit too cheap for VR.
But reviews mostly positive.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Might be worth.
But
Let's
actually,
pick that up and give it a go.
Scottscy, we do need to say our goodbyes.
I know. It was something I was going to mention first.
Dude, mention it.
I can't remember.
All right, goddamn. We'll mention it on the next.
Well, one
podcast.
of the things.
Sorry, go ahead.
One of the things is I've been stood up this entire time.
You're standing up.
I was stood up this whole
Why?
podcast. That'll keep me awake. It worked.
That's true.
I didn't yawn once. I normally yawn every single podcast. I've been way more expressive because I'm stood up. I am animated.
You're animated. Right now, you can't.
You should try a next podcast.
I would actually like to try a next podcast.
Dude, some reason it works. I've
just been drinking alcohol during this
dip.
this podcast. So that's like literally this is literally how I've been staying so animated.
I've had a beer.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, dude.
Well, I think we had a good podcast.
We had a great podcast, dude.
There was something about Resi I was going to mention, but I can't remember.
You know what? If you can remember it for next podcast,
maybe it was something to do about payday. Who knows? Anyway, I'm in pain from my ear, so
he's like in battle damage. But Scottscy, while you're heading off to the nurse's office, right? Why don't you like tell us like where people can find you?
Well, if you want to find me, you can find me on YouTube and Twitch. Just search Scottscy or youtube.com/Scottscy or twitch.tv/Scottscy. You can also find me on Twitter at ScottscyYT, on Instagram at Scottscy, and all that good stuff.
Wow, Scottscy, that's exciting. That's what I like to hear. You know what? I'm gonna follow you on all of those.
And there's also my Discord link in the description. Jump in, and you'll get notifications of when I go live.
Whoa!
Which more people need to watch me.
What are you talking about? I watch you all the time. I'm your biggest fan.
The biggest
I'm
boy.
the biggest boy, biggest fan. But anyway, Scottscy.
Where can people find you,
What,
madam?
me? Well, they can find me
you.
in Ireland.
I was about to fucking say, don't say Ireland, or I'm leaving. I'm going.
No,
That's it.
Scottscy, come back,
I'm done.
come back.
No, bye.
Come back. They can find me at twitch.tv/Blairlex and youtube.com/cblairlex. And they can also find me at Instagram and Twitter at Blairlex, my dude, and all the good stuff. You can also find me on castingcodeclub.com at Blairlex/Blairlex and all that type of stuff. You can also join my Discord as well. Scottscy, we should hurry up and like connect our Discords. Like, I don't know, we need to figure out a name for both our Discords.
Maybe what? Boys on the internet? Yeet.
We do, yeah, we do need to do that so that we have one Discord. But anyway,
we'll have to ask people about it and see how they feel.
Exactly, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure something out. But anyway, with that, thank you guys so much.
Wait. You keep cutting me off. I have one more thing I always say after you talk, remember?
Oh, yeah?
You can also listen to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It depending on where you're listening now. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Acast. We may throw it on Google Play at some point, but that's if people want it. If you do want it, let us know in the comments. Who knows? But yeah, now you can end it.
Okay.
Blair.
I'm so sorry. I'm such a rude dude. I apologize.
You're cutting me off.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. This has been episode 9. You've been listening to the Boicast. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Go play Resident Evil 2 now. If you haven't played it, go play it. Play it right now.